Hello everyone, this is my reaction to yesterday's ISC Year in review. CRG made it look like we got a lot in 2022, but in reality this was a sad year for Star Citizen. Remember, 3.16 last December was empty, stripped of almost everything just to make it last December. And so far we only got one patch in 2022, 3.17. There's a chance we might get 3.18 on the public PTU this year. We are also missing a lot of items that were on previous roadmaps. For example, hacking T0 was on the 3.13 roadmap. We put on the roadmap what we are pretty damn sure we can do. Yeah, Aaron. We are in year 11, we are still missing basics, basic mechanics, professions, and CRG still doesn't have a good idea how the flight model or ship combat are supposed to be. They are poking with sticks in the dark and hoping to find something.
Player refueling also made its debut in 2022, enabling the peer-to-peer profession that allows for a new way to help your fellow citizens and make a buck along the way, an important step ahead for the upcoming inclusion of the Pyro system.
Pause. Refueling is your typical CRG tier 0, just reusing existing docking interface. It is tedious and slow. We can only refuel one ship at a time, and UI was made by someone who hates humans. As it stands, no one is using refueling. This might change with Pyro, since it will be way harder to get fuel there.
With the new selling mechanic, allowing players to finally clear out much of what filled their inventories for profit.
Pause. I said this before, I made a whole video about this. CRG seems to be on a quest to make the worst UI in history of gaming. One could think CRG made enough money by now to hire someone who can make good, useful UIs. Yeah.
And Rivers, which began with a single estuary on Microtech and continued to develop throughout the year into a watershed release included in the upcoming Alpha 3.18.
Pause. I've seen much better rivers in 10-year-old games. Rivers start out of nowhere and they are going into a small lake. Not exactly very immersive or realistic, and touching water still destroys ships and vehicles.
More hospitals were added to the persistent universe in 22.
Pause. Yeah, we got more hospitals with very bad architecture. Just look at stairs. CRG is throwing stairs around like candy, which doesn't make any sense. And who's enjoying hospitals? No one. It's part of the gameplay loop, but why does it have to be so fancy? I mean, if you're waking up in a hospital, your goal is to leave ASAP. No one is walking around to admire the architecture, which is very bad.
And then this year, CitizenCon kicked off with the official Journey to 4.0 initiative.
Pause. 4.0, where have I heard this before? Oh yes, Chris Roberts' 2016 CitizenCon talk. We were supposed to get 4.0 at the beginning of 2018 with several new star systems. I highly recommend that you watch Chris' 2016 CitizenCon talk. Link is in my first pinned comment below.
Let's do a rundown of all the new ones that made their way flyable and drivable in 2022.
Well, let's see. Hull E is okay. Hoverquad is useless. Way too wide. Not many smaller ships can carry a hoverquad. Craftlev is still terrible, nowhere as good as John Bridges' 3.1.4 Craftlev. We can move one SU crate using handheld tractor beams, so why even have a mule? This thing is just useless. Centurion only has 70 degrees of gun elevation, which is not enough. She can easily have 90 degrees and she has very low gun depression. She's also built on the Atlas chassis, a chassis with very limited ground clearance. STV is the fastest vehicle in game because reasons and to make money, to sell more. Scorpius has those useless rule of cool wingtip guns. I am just showing you CRG's video. Okay, this is really funny. This shows exactly what's bad with wingtip guns. You can see the turret guns hitting the target, but wingtip guns are mostly just flying left and right of the target because distance is too short and your wingtip guns cannot converge on this target. Well, I'm repeating myself over and over again, but wingtip guns are bad on so many levels without giving you any advantage. I guess being cool is more important than having a functional ship design. Yeah, go Chris. Corsair has those silly, big, asymmetrical wings that offer you no benefit at all, but have a lot of disadvantages. She is also losing her thrusters way too easily, then she is almost uncontrollable. And Drake Cutter is fine, but of course a cheap Drake starter ship needs a fancy, elevating, moving and rotating seat. Yeah, go Chris.
Hull stripping salvage gameplay.
Pause. Remember, we were supposed to get salvage, full salvage, not just hull stripping, in T.2 in summer 2017. And now, 5.5 years later, we are getting hull scraping.
The cargo refactor is here. The cargo refactor is here.
Pause. Cargo refactor tier 0. We are getting handheld tractor beams to move cargo, one SCU crate at a time, no matter the mass, because it's all magic and physics is for losers. Right, Chris?
There's also the new PTV racetrack in Horizon.
Get used to disappointment.
This was my reaction video to yesterday's ISC. Let me know what you think in the comments below and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. We are starting with my character standing just in front of the threads. Okay, Flicker, please move forward. Yeah, you are just getting tracked along. More, please. You take no damage, you are just getting tracked along. Okay. This is done. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.